Okay, now for a child. Now the age range for a child is going to be 1 to 8. 1 to 8. So let's say we have a 4-year-old child here. So, first things first. Remember, I'm going to say something and try to tell me the steps as I'm saying it, and when I ask you, just say the step before I even say it. This way when you're tested, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I come into a room and I find a child laying on the floor. The scene is completely safe. I come into a room and I find a child laying on the floor. What do I do first? I'm going to shake them gently. Are you okay? Are you okay? Now this child doesn't respond. What should I do next? Now if there's somebody around, I'm going to tell them to call 911. I'm going to point to them and say call 911. But if I'm by myself with a child, I'm just going to go ahead and do the next step, which is going to be opening up the airway. I open up the airway, then I'm going to do what? Check for breathing. Check for breathing for how long? 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not breathing. What do I do? 2 breaths. Once I've given the 2 breaths, next what do I do? Check for the circulation pulse. I'm checking for the pulse for how long? 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, let's say they have a pulse. Then what? They have a pulse, I don't need to give the compressions. I just need to give the air. Rescue breathing for a child is 1 breath every 3 seconds. So rescue breathing for a child is 1 breath every 3 seconds. A little faster, they breathe faster. Now let's say there's no breathing and there's no pulse in this child, then what? I'm going to give them both compressions and breaths. Here's what I'm going to do. Now, one hand is on the chest. The other hand is keeping the head to the back at the same time. My knees are spread apart. My elbow is locked in place. I'm going to give a child how many compressions? 30. And how many breaths? 2. So it's 30 compressions and 2 breaths, just like for an adult. So here's how it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30. Hand comes off the chest to the chin. Pinch the nose. Hand goes back on the chest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Hand comes to the chin. Back on the chest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Hands off the chest to the chin. It's been about a minute. What am I going to do next? ABCs. Get down there, open up the airway, check for breathing and pulse at the same time. Let's say at this point, they have a pulse. If they have a pulse, but they're not breathing, what do I do? Just rescue breathing, which is 1 breath every how many seconds for a child? 3. It's 1 breath every 3 seconds for a child. Now, let's say there's no breathing and there's no pulse on this child. What do I do next? I'm going to continue giving how many compressions? 30. And how many breaths? 2. So it's going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Same exact thing. So that's what we do if a child is not breathing and there is no pulse.